people like Finn, Froppy, they can just do so much damage. D.Va's head hitbox is pretty easy to hit because you're not going to go above it.
It's basically a body-sized hitbox.
Yeah, and also you're not going to go above it either. Like, normally with a headshot, you can go all around the whole thing. Like, it's fairly hard. But D.Va, not so much. Like, you're going to guarantee to hit her if you're aiming for the head, which is just the center of her mat, really.
Providing you're not terrible at aiming, but obviously here in Overwatch Contenders career, everyone can aim pretty well. MVP, right now, they're going to roll out with the classic 3-3. They've got the Reinhardt, they're just going to try and force themselves onto point, maybe.
Up Froppy there. So you check in Waffle to make sure Waffle couldn't get a boop down onto his main tank to force him into the rest of the team. Valentine gets taken out by Who, though. Stepped a little bit too far outside the small house. Team MVP in a bit of a troublesome situation now as they have to wait for Valentine to actually get back, but they have to actually cross in order to get to it. So they actually decide to go completely again to make sure they can shield him before he gets back. Yeah,
Valentine there looks like he got taken out by a mutual stun with Assassin because Assassin did have the assist in the kill feed there, and obviously once you're stunned, it's easy enough for Who to just have a quick dink on your head. Birds and Yellows do a lot of damage, especially when you have a Discord orb on you. Leo's doing a lot of damage here already, 60% of the way towards Primal Rage. The cleave from a Winston can be insane. He's already getting it into that hallway as well. Should be ready to have a Primal Rage by the time the first major engagement happens with Team MVP still not having touched a point just yet. Who's very safe up here? It's going to have to be Jasper who knocks him off.
Yeah, they've been a big minute away from the time back as well. Just actually setting up and positioning and finding that first initial kill. Leo is so close. Look at this. He should be able to get over the next couple of hits. He's 20 HP. He's okay, though. He's okay.
Take a breath.
Take a breath. Leo's going to take a bigger one here as he uses that Primal Rage. She's trying to bash away the Brig. There's no way you can survive that. She's off the edge. So what is going to go down as well to the melee kill with Young One. As it GEEKSTAR ending this fight rather rapidly. Leo claims 3 people. Waffle managing to get the boot onto Jasper as well. Not too bad to start the match off of. Now MVP, they've got ults to work with, yes, but GEEKSTAR, they have got some retaliation they can exert. Young One with the grab, of course, Who with the transcend.
Yeah, the good news here is that MVP did not really expend anything to make that fight happen. They have lost half their time back, however. 6 ultimates will be available by the time they reach a point. No doubt with Valentine having to get some ult charge through the healing here already. A Graviton Surge.
Solo grab on the Lucio, okay.
The
grab's going to come in as well. Transcendence healing not going to be there for half of GEEKSTAR. We're trapped on the other side of the wall. Self-destruct, use a little bit more defensively from GEEKSTAR. Now GEEKSTAR have nothing, Harry.
They've used everything.
Maybe Waffle gets a beat. In fact, yes, he will. A couple of percentage points available. But look at Team MVP's ult bank. They got 4 available to them. And they can push on to this point.
The second that he sees just Winston Bubble as well, he can go for that slam. It's now gone. Now it's So What's time to shine.
Oh, the slam hits the ground. 2 people hit the floor. Waffle taking so much damage. Finn ends up taking him out. Team MVP now cleaning up house. However, Graviton Surge from Young One is only 10% away. Leo using that Primal Rage as well. They're not out of the woods just yet.
Leo's Primal Rage will now expend itself. Gaborsi's almost got his mech back, needs to hit a couple more.
Someone needs to protect your Zen. Forcing the Transcendence, actually, Rookie gets solo graphed on the sidelines. He gets instantly taken out. Not before GEEKSTAR can find another couple of people. Valentine killing off Leo is a good start, but the rest of your front line's kind of disappearing right in front of your very eyes. GEEKSTAR holding them on this first point so far. 50 seconds now remain, and not a tick has been acquired.
You know what? Who is Jaws? Who is bait? Who is like, hey, you know what's over here? A real juicy Zenyatta for you to try to come and kill with your short-range beam. Then the second he's around the corner, Yomon's like, nah, you're staying here. You're going to grab to the side. And when you grab to the side of that, there's a wall between you and your support, so no healing's going to come through. Valentine can't throw you an armor pack. Finn doesn't have a line of sight to give you a Harmony Orb, which is not going to allow you to survive. MVP, they're now in dire straits. 20 seconds remain. They haven't got a tick yet. They don't have the ults to make this work either just yet.
MVP, I'm going to C9 this time around. They are touching the point. With 10 seconds remaining, though, they're going to have to make this fight actually count. Valentine using that rally fairly early on, so ends up getting an ultimate available, but GableC's mech's already going to go down. Young One is so free now to do whatever he so chooses. Waffle ends up falling, and Jasper finds himself a double kill, but a shatter from So What does land 3 people on their backs. A pin from So What as well will end the team fight in MVP's favor. They've managed to find the team wipe and the point.
I'm not sure what happened to Leo there. I'm pretty sure it may have been booped up from a back by Froppy. He just went on a large old leap over the point, and while So What looked up and saw Leo flying like a rainbow, managed to just land a big shatter onto 3 members of GEEKSTAR. That was a clean end there for Team MVP. We'll get 4 more minutes to try and take second point. We are going to see some second point action today, that much is for certain, and some high point clashes to begin with.
Rookie going fairly low. He's got a Graviton Surge of his own. Does he choose to use it? That's a lot of people in that room with a lot of explosives. GableC doesn't manage to land anybody with a self-destruct, but Jasper definitely did. 2 people with a self-destruct down. Rookie finds another Now the rest of GEEKSTAR running for their lives. Team MVP can now get percentage on the point.
A 4 ultimate push onto this point. GabeLT's already moved over onto that Tracer, trying to keep things contested.
Waffle dead. This is it. Couple of more. Oh, they just managed to touch 99.3%. They just have to keep this in contestation for so long now, but the Tracer is all
taking out
out of
Rookie.
life. Leo manages to kill off Rookie, but is it going to be enough?
No,
Leo charges off of the point. He did get a kill, but that was it. Team MVP managed to secure second. Rolling on from first. It was OT, but they still managed to push on forwards. 3 minutes in the time bank. Quite respectable for Volskaya.
Yeah, that was a real sort of example of how important momentum is on assault maps. Even if it takes you all 4 minutes to take that first point, you can get some good combinations here that can just set you up for the remainder of the entire map, especially if you do have the ultimates available to make it happen. GEEKSTAR fought so hard for that last fight that they just didn't have anything available to come in and protect second. They wanted to get that full hold. Sometimes the greed can be too much, Jaws. It can leave you very badly suited for a long haul defense.
3 minutes, not the worst time bank in the world, although they did, like I said, get held on first quite some time into OT, in fact. GEEKSTAR now on the offense. Now try and match the time bank. MVP doing the same kind of thing. They're running out with the Winston. Winston seems to be more favorable here on the defense than the Reinhardt. The offense always seems to want to run with the Reinhardt, go for the big wraparound, and then take control of that mega health back room.
Yeah, you can often anticipate. For Winston, I think you bring out, because it's not entirely uncommon that someone would attack Volskaya point A with DPS, and Winston seems to be far more effective against those DPS compositions with his ability to dive on more squishy targets. And also, even if you are up against a 3-3, you still have the option to rack the nerves of an entire team with that Tesla core. You can get 6-man cleave as people try and make their way in one of those death balls into cover. And that allows you to build up Primal Rage incredibly quickly, claim a fight. And after you use that Primal Rage, if you die during that, you can swap over to the Winston and have that Reinhardt rather, and have shielding available for a Nerf Shadow.
2 Lucios dueling out like planes up in the sky.
Dogfight.
Yeah, well, I think Freddy came out on ahead, I think. I'm not entirely sure. Waffle had to join the rest of the team, of course. He was going to go trying for the big boop to try and get someone out of position to start off with.
Still high ground presence here for Team MVP. Finn's going to be quite hard to dislodge here. It's going to be down to GabeLT or Waffle to make that happen. Froppy still sticking up high, wants to try and get a boop here onto Leo, maybe.
Oh, he didn't manage to get a connection. Or maybe it did. Didn't boop very far, that is for certain. Assassin pushing people off the high ground with a rocket flail. Rather important, because then someone has to expend a movement cooldown to try and do that. Assassin now going extremely aggro. Want to try and fin out this Zaya. Rookie didn't stand a chance against the rest of GEEKSTAR. Team MVP on the defense, kind of routed at this point. So was already dead. Like, there's nothing more they can do. That's really a one-fight wonder for GEEKSTAR. Took a little bit of time to set up, but Rookie got caught out so heavily. Was on his own for that entire time. There's no way that MVP could kind of corral around him and provide, give him the protection. Ends up going down and GEEKSTAR cap point.
Yeah, unforced errors there from Rookie. The second you lose that Zaya, you lose so much of your punching power with this 3-3. Speaking of punching power, but Winston has been abandoned. So what now over onto the Rhine, but has only got the passive ultimate charge to his name right now. Leo can be so aggressive compared to him. If they can pressure out this shield, Leo can get as much as he wants and more from an Earth Shadow across this point.
Yeah, you don't need to be a genius ult tracker to know that. So what is very, very low on ult charge right now. They've already managed to secure a tick. Team MVP not letting it go lightly though. Are still managing to touch to stop any more percentage going forwards. Young one with the grab. As you can lay it out. Oh, so chooses, but
he's dead again.
Ends up going down. A grab on top of this, on top of the Transcendence. I'm not sure it's going to matter though, as that's going to run out so quickly. So what now going super low. A beat's going to come through from GEEKSTAR to see them through the fight. So what ends up falling just before it receives a beat of his own.
GEEKSTAR looking so good right now, almost for second tick coming through. There's a Graviton Surge.
And they mix it with anything. They've already got the self-destruct. It's going to have to be a big one in order to secure the fight. It ends up going a little bit wide, actually absorbed into the shield of Leo. And now they just have to kill the staggered members of Team MVP to force them off at this point. This point can't be stalled out for so long as the spawn is so close. 99.6%. Another couple of percent is all that's required, or 0.1%, I should say. GEEKSTAR end up getting it with a superior time bank as well. That roll on to second, working out just as well as Team MVPs did.
And I said MVP needed to identify how aggressive GabeLT was being, but the same thing seems to have occurred for GEEKSTAR. We're like, okay, so Rookie's just getting really sort of like aggressive, and he's not really playing around the shield that much. They just pick him off twice in a row at the start of both fights. If your Xayah is that much of a non-factor, and basically you are existing without doing any damage, at that point you're a pacifist defense, Jaws. Just can't get anything done, and GEEKSTAR, they now have a commanding lead in terms of time bank. Team MVP, it looked very good when they got the 307 time bank, but they just look absolutely trounced here by GEEKSTAR.
Rookie, I mean, perhaps he got booped. I'm not entirely sure. As I saw was just kind of the massive green and then a Xayah just kind of jumping around. That Xayah was Rookie. He was like, well, he's dead. There's not much we can do now. And then So What hasn't got the protection either. There's Jasper if they require the shields, plus the Graviton Surge, which was used so late on in the fight because he died so early. Just a whole ball of a mess. It just spirals out of control. That is what Assault is all about. Just taking control so early on, and then, hey, guess what? We end up winning the fight, and then there's no way you can get back on point. 5 minutes and 28 seconds available for GEEKSTAR on their offense, but it's Team MVP's first chance here. Second chance, sorry, with their 3-minute time bank.
Once again, it's all about high ground on top of that hut. It's going to mean that you have to commit resources to removing Hu from that area. If you don't remove Hu from that area, he can just continually rain down these orbs from above. You saw how it picked off Valentine last time, and it was going to be a bit of a wraparound here, trying to catch Leo off guard.
Oh, Rookie's been caught. Oh, he couldn't. He almost didn't get inside the side with the rest of his team there. Got body blocked, and Assassin and Waff were able to kind of boop him out.
Leo can do a lot of damage here. 31% of the way towards that primal rage. Not as good as last time, but straight up, this is a great attack, straight on high ground.
Good for aggressive speed boost, yeah, like you said, just jumping on that forklift. Both Divas lose their mechs, and now MVP have time and space on this point.
Yeah, it was a quick punch to the gut. GEEKSTAR were not expecting it. Now MVP have control of this territory.
They go for the re-engage. The point is still being capped. Team MVP, I mean, they're doing a fair bit of damage, and Waffle just in no man's land right now. Team MVP want a little bit of revenge for this first point. First point hold that GEEKSTAR actually forced them to OT. Leo's going to go down. I mean, Finn's just doing so much work on the Zen as well. No one's paying attention to him whatsoever. Just dishing out so much damage. Staggered members of GEEKSTAR now making their way to the point. Leo switching over to the Reinhardt, knows this point is lost. Has to defend for second now. They get an extra 30 seconds, netting them 2 minutes and 20. Moving on to the third.
And Jules, when we have interviews with players, they often say that when they won or they lost, it was because they weren't playing their game. That attack right there, that was Team MVP's game. They took control of the tempo, they took control of the rhythm. They're doing the same thing on second. They are ready to go. Leo's already dead.
Big shatter in the back line, mixed with that grab. I mean, that should be just it. GEEKSTAR is going to be able to boop everybody away, but the Transcendence is only going to last so long as Hu does use it on the point. Self-destruct as well is going to scatter everybody. Team MVP still not managing to get any really capture progress. Haven't found a tick just yet. Another self-destruct is going to come in. This time around is on GEEKSTAR. Now they're all switching to DPS to try and get back ASAP to stall out even longer.
Yeah, they are going to have the health to stay against this tirade of MVP. No! Not yet! Oh,
that was close.
Okay, that'll do.
My heart leapt just a little bit, so almost kills himself, but they're okay for the time. There's the 2 ticks. It's just the Tracer coming back in, instantly stunned. Now even the Mei, but a nice boop. Center Ice Cube up into the air and crashing back down to the into the earth. Team MVP with 4 points now on the board. An impressive time bank as well, yet again, going into the fourth round if they don't manage to hold. 1 minute and 24.
Oh, Jules, here we go again. We are going all the way with this particular Volskaya. They end up going to a third round, or a 6th round, depends on how you count it, if GEEKSTAR can get another similarly fast completion. But Team MVP, they basically used, I don't know, like 2 minutes there. They had, what, a 3 minute and 3 second time bank? Got an extra 30 seconds, maybe 2.5 minutes spent taking that, maybe 1.5 minutes. I don't know. At any rate, it was incredibly fast, and I'm such a fan. I'll keep gushing about it. How they changed up their tactic there to just use the speed boost, jump over the forklift. At that point, you are all in, because the second you use that speed boost to make that aggressive play, you don't have the amp it up of healing available. You are all in. You have no real recourse to heal up your team at that point. And that relied on getting the drop on GEEKSTAR. Waffle was not in a position to facilitate a disengagement there, because you didn't really expect the hop over in that point. You thought they were going to go onto a point like they did for the last few attacks. But being able to vary up your strategy was a huge boon there for Team MVP. And varying strategy and varying tempo can often catch an enemy team off guard. We'll have to see if GEEKSTAR will be able to do something similar, or if Team MVP this time actually have an answer on the defense, given that they didn't at all last time.
Potentially. A little bit more of a vanilla push here, right onto the point. Both teams running the Reinhardt instead of the Winston, just clearly valuing it more right now. 5 minutes for GEEKSTAR. Of course, they did gain a minute and a bit on their first attempt, so gonna have quite a hefty time bank moving into this.
Finn's got a long sight line here where he's going to be very hard to try and take out. Can put down a lot of damage. Same's going to be set onto Leo.
Oh, he's going fairly low already. Leo has to back off so readily. Like, there's no way he can actually put himself in a situation here where Diva's at his back. You see the rest of his team actually corralling around him and making sure the Diva can't do that. Froppy does have him going down first. OWC finding one. Young1 is going to find another. Is this going to be another roll? I think it might just be. Young1 finds Valentine as well. OWC pushing the Diva off of the high ground. They're all dead. GEEKSTAR finding 6 people, adding them to their ult banks, and they're going to add an extra 30 seconds to their time bank as well after this. This could be another 1 cap for GEEKSTAR and send us to another round.
Could be quick, Jules, but this time, crucially, Team MVP have that Transcendence ready for the defense, almost for rally as well, almost for grab. Look at all their ultimates. They basically have everything almost ready, except for the Sand Barrier. So they're going to have a much more hardy defense in the face of GEEKSTAR's aggression, and this time GEEKSTAR's aren't even going over on the high ground again. This time they're just going straight onto the point, trying to force down Team MVP.
There's the rally like you were talking about. It's now online. You have to contend with Young1's grab. Still moving in, and Young1's aggressive positioning nets him a kill. Or at least helps Leo with it. Graviton Surge gets launched in. Transcendence still healing him up at the front line, and the grab comes in as well. Met with the trans, but 2 self-destructs land on top. 2 people down for OWC. Jasper finds 1, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Assassin falling, and so what? Like, it doesn't really matter at all. Waffle now finds 2 kills, and this might just be it. Valentine's shield gets instantly deleted. Tracer's going to come back, stall some more time. An instant recall, though, and a shatter to try and stop her coming back. It wasn't needed. GEEKSTAR find another point. Is now 4 apiece as this map refuses to end.
It doesn't matter how many ultimates you have, apparently just so much value gained out of Graviton Surge right there, just a load of damage done. And so what attempted for a shadow here, but didn't really get anything. This is the point at which he goes for shadow. I think it's straight into a shield. Leo just with the turnaround. That was really poor timing from So actually, I'm afraid I have to admit. Leo had his shield turned around in order to make sure that he did not have he had a shield turned around to block out the self-destruct. But So what waits to use his Earth Shatter? It's like, okay, I'm just going to give him time to turn it. That's just like gentlemanly conduct. Like, I'll give him a chance.
And then I will Earth Shatter. But then we lose, so ouch.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that timing at all there.
We're going again.
We are going again.
1 minute and 24 seconds for Team MVP.
They've lost 7 seconds and they've capped twice. On the side of GEEKSTAR.
Feels good.
That's a wow.
That's a wow from me.
Yeah, they've been using the time stone or something.
Wow.jpg.
Deep manipulation of the Infinity Stones.
Nope. Hello, Leo. High ground now.
And interesting they're running for Reinhardt on the high ground right now. Usually, of course, we have seen the defensive Winston, but like we noticed in the second run through, both teams ran for Reinhardt on first point. But Leo now is going to allow a huge amount of safety for Who up on the high ground right here, who of course has that physical cover as well. We'll have to see if Team MVP want to make the same rotation again. This time they're going to be going off to the right of your screen. But this does mean that they are going to catch a lot of poke. Look at how much damage Yomon can do until he's knocked off. Great job there.
Yeah, Jasper, so much damage actually landed on him. He has to back off rather sharpish. 50 seconds now remains for Team MVP. Their time bank not looking so hot right now.
It's going to be a little bit of a squad battle as well between the Divas and the Lucios up top. That's a good beep onto Lua.
A beep boop. A beep and a boop. Leo taking a whole lot of damage. Got to be really careful though. Waffle ends up falling. Team MVP off to a good start. Another beautiful boop. Leo gets assassinated by Froppy. Now Team MVP securing capture percent. Yeah, they're going to be able to get it. I don't know why I kind of hyped a bit. I'm like, they secure percent, Harry. Are they going to be able to do it as the rest of GEEKSTAR end up instantly dying? I don't know what I expected.
I think they're going to do it, but they are going to have 30 seconds added to their time bank as well to go on to second point. This does mean they basically have one fight to try and make this work. This will cover the commute and a majority of the fight before overtime will strike. GEEKSTAR have quite a few ultimates almost ready to go, but none of them are quite ready to go straight on the click of a Q. The same can be said of Team MVP. It's just about who can deal the damage first. Finn has the sustainability in his hands right now. They're going for an aggressive high ground push once again.
There's no grab to meet them this time around. Remember those 2 Graviton Surges? Turning that room into a little universe. Last time around. Rally from Team MVP as they move forward. They look focused, trying to focus Leo. Rookie, so close to a grab, but look at GEEKSTAR. Look at the wealth of ultimates they've already acquired. A Graviton Surge, a little bit oddly placed, but they still managed to find one. The Shadow comes through, does lay a few people on their back, but a Rally and a Transcendence to save them. They're going to be able to cause OT as someone is on the point. Q ends up falling as SoWa gets the beautiful pin kill on Assassin, but SoWa ends up paying for it with his life. GEEKSTAR, they've got the spawn advantage, they just need to leverage it.
There we go. It's going to be a little bit of a damage onto GEEKSTAR right there, and it's going to be clean up for MVP.
Team MVP still cleaning up, but GEEKSTAR not out of the woods just yet. That's a how is the Lucio still alive? Someone kill
that's a great frag!
Please kill him. He's finally dead, but Assassin comes back in on the Doomfist. Should be able to kill the Lucio as well. Triple kill for Assassin. No one messes with GEEKSTAR. Assassin paving the way for a win.
You got 4 frags just then. 4 of them. Team MVP. It was looking so good for him. But Assassin literally living up to his namesake. 4 assassinations in a row. Some beautiful tech as well with the Doomfist. Really good controlled descents to be able to get the proper verticality on those rocket punches to connect with Lucios, which can often be of very varying verticality and so can have great evasion from a Doomfist's usual attentions. But evidently, I was thinking that potentially Gabe also didn't get a huge amount of value out of that Graviton Surge, only catching Valentine in there. But apparently it worked out rather well, because it meant that Valentine was not there with a Shield Bash or an Armor Pack to try and mitigate the counterattack of Assassin. And those can often be incredibly hurtful to the... Hurtful makes it sound emotional. Incredibly
maybe it was,
hurtful to the efforts of a Doomfist. He's like, wow, why do you do this to me, Brigida?
I am sad.
Sad face
Sad
Doomfist.
Doomfist. I would be pretty sad as well for Doomfist night. Ran into a brig. The stun, the whip shot, does a whole bunch. Although I have been one-shot a couple of times as Brig when playing against Doom. If he gets like nano or something, you're like, well, he does like a bazillion damage now, so I'm dead. Not even a shield bash is going to save me now.
Actual super villain.
And super bully too.
Super bully.
Super bully, yeah.
Someone call for Brigida Bully Hunt.
Wow. 5 points for Team MVP though. Like you said before, 7 seconds were taken off GEEKSTAR's time banks in the last couple of pushes, so we'll see if they can do that again.
GEEKSTAR can now win the series if they just take first, because they would then be able to draw with Team MVP, and Team MVP would only be able to get 1 point. So MVP, their win condition for the entire series, Jules,
full hold,
is a full hold for basically the same amount of time that you usually full hold, but they have not done at all just yet. GEEKSTAR are going to start off essentially controlling the high ground. They're going to be looking out and, of course, giving a lot of poke over towards Rookie. He's often been the first casualty. He's already down to half health. Will use his projective arrow. He can now be aggressed upon. Look at this.
Jasper playing this one so aggressively. This is a bad situation for Leo right now. He's just getting torn apart. So what? Just taking his life off of the map. Like, there's no way you can deal with that if you are GEEKSTAR right now. They are going to get at least a little bit of extra damage down onto Jasper, build some ults, yes. They probably back out in this situation, although they are just claiming capture percentage. Team MVP are forced to use the Transcendence in this location too to heal everybody up on the Mega Health Pack room, who is also going to use his. Team MVP now marching their way forward. They managed to kill off Young One as well.
So what does have the Earth Shadow ready as well, but still the second tick may come through.
There it is! Second tick comes through as well. Self-destruct's going to get used.
Touch point!
As well as that beat. Someone has to touch. MVP, don't do us like this again. You cannot see 9 once more. Leo lays down his own Shadow, manages to find Froppy.
This has been incredibly messy, Jaws, so they may be able to get the cap here. So what's on the corner still?
So what is going down so quickly as well? He hasn't got an armor pack to really keep him up alive. Nice little counter charge there from Leo. He ends up going down though. The point has been taken in GEEKSTAR. Push MVP off. MVP don't see 9. Don't start calling it just yet. And they end up securing the series as they've taken first.
Yeah, GEEKSTAR going to go up to that nice scoreline, getting the 2 in their column. MVP not going to be very happy about this. Now they've got to get the single tick. Please touch.
They have touched it. Don't worry, Harry, just yet. Jasper using the grab. Transcendence is going to come through. Self-destruct doing all of absolutely nothing. Graviton Surge working out well for GEEKSTAR though. A big shadow on the front line, but Assassin still gaining armor. Gets taken down by Finn as Leo is still fighting his way onto this point. Rookie now in the front line, can't do all of much against whose output of damage. So what's going to be able to get back in time, but not before GEEKSTAR can just eviscerate the rest of his team.
It is going to be eventually Team MVP winning out via attrition though. They're just got to make sure that they get rid of this Lucio. Can't allow that back cap.
He is flying.
Yeah, he's
out of there.
He's thinking like the world's lightest frog. GEEKSTAR now, they do have a minute and 44 seconds to try and take this point. Team MVP now playing for that draw. They don't want to get the -1 in the map differential column. The GEEKSTAR, they're going to be hungry to try and cement that better chance of getting into the playoffs. They had such a tragic beginning to the season, going 0-4, but now they're looking like a revitalized team. Jaws and Team MVP seems somewhat stuck.
Waffle pushing people off the high ground with that boot. They're going to go for the same attack once again. I'll put this high ground, force the people away. Leo's going extremely low, but is able to back off for the time being. Team MVP used that beat to sustain themselves, but now they've got to watch out for Leo. Watch out for that Shadow. Self-destruct comes in. It's going to hit the shield of So What, but actually buys a lot of space and time for GEEKSTAR to move their way onto the point. The Shadow hits 2, 3 in fact, but a counter Shadow's big. Transcendence is going to come through, but a Graviton Surge landing on So What. He's going to get taken down.
Oh,
Leo just cleaving through MVP. The beat comes out as well. They only need 33%, and they're going to acquire it. GEEKSTAR, in what was such a disappointing start to the season, have found a resurgence in the last couple of weeks, finding the maps, and now the series win against Team MVP, just looking so strong, and could even clutch this out at a 4-0 as well as they do move on to our last map.
I love the coordination there as well. The second that they saw Jasper was stunned, you're almost like, oh, it's my moment. I can grab now. There's no potential for a defense matrix up this Graviton Surge, which obviously after Blizzard World and Nepal was like, I'm not sure if I want to really throw this grab in here, guys. Jasper's eating up a lot of those, but it was a great coordination, a great counter shatter as well, because obviously when you see 3 people shadowed as Orion, you get excited. You're like, oh yes, we're going to go clean this up. It's time to
charge time.
Exactly, and it's not block some shadow time, and Leo knew that.
Well, it is break time, unfortunately. We'll be right back though. We've got map number 4 coming up soon. Hey guys, welcome back. GEEKSTAR versus Team MVP is the series you're currently watching. GEEKSTAR, though, after that map on Voskaya, managed to secure it, plus have themselves a series win under their belts, netting them a 2-4 currently in the standings. MVP now actually go down to 2-4 as well. GEEKSTAR's hopes and dreams of the playoffs, which looked so distant in a couple of weeks ago, are now kept alive.
Yeah, they absolutely are. GEEKSTAR is sort of like, well, just stealing your word. It's just your word of the day. Resurgence, yeah, definitely, is what I would describe them as. The hope of a reverse sweep for Team MVP is dead. frankly, they're just going to have to try and play it for the map score here. But given what we know about GeekStar's map score, a +4 for them here would be monumental. After that tragic start to the season, they really need to start making these leaps and bounds, getting these close series here and there to start racking up those maps in their favor, and Gibraltar will be yet another example of that. And I'd love to see a little bit more Winston play here as well. I think Leo's been a very good Winston so far, and his defenses have been pretty great, especially like that first defense against MVP on Volsky. That drains so much of their time
back. It was going to be a map in there.
Yeah.
Plus, if they hold there in that situation, that was the series win for them. So OT was so important. Gibraltar, where there can't really be OT, well, I guess they can be. I don't know why I said that, to be honest.
Yeah.
They can, of course they can be able to. I was thinking about draws.
But we've removed overtime from all escort maps.
No more overtime. No, I was thinking about draws. It is mathematically possible. It's physically possible.
Meterage is mathematical.
Sweet. All right, then I was correct. Anyway, it is possible to get draws, but it's extremely unlikely. I did get a draw on the Route 66 one. That was weird. That was a weird time.
Just both full held?
No, we held before first. And you need, as soon as the cart gets delivered onto first, or stops, the doors open, but both teams are able to just basically hold.
I think we've cast a series before where a team got halted just after they unlocked a payload on King's Row. And there was a potential for a draw there.
Yeah,
but
it does happen.
The cart eventually moved a centimeter.
It is very possible. It is 0.3 of a meter you require in order for that draw not to be a thing. Just let you know if you ever find yourselves in that situation.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see if Team MVP will be able to move this cart at all, and of course avoid that draw. I imagine it won't take very long. There it is.
Yay!
Excellent play, Team MVP.
No draw until maybe second or third now.
GeekStar are going to make an engagement here. Leo going straight down, getting a little bit of plea before quickly exiting. Of course, wanted to get a little bit of that charge for Yeonwon.
Nice little boop, actually.
Yeah, good mitigation of a dive from So-Won.
Yeah, he gets booped down, means Jasper's going to take a whole bunch of damage. Now the rest of us are just retreating. Team MVP want to play this quite passively, it seems. Just want to move that payload as much as they can. They don't want to take some early fights. Does leave GeekStar in a good position to rain death from above, though. Especially Yeonwon, who's going to be able to build up this grab. So
yeah, Leo's ready to once again drop down, get a little bit of contest, and of course for damage as well. Right now, Cart will be halted by Gable, C in front. It's going to be a rotation from Team MVP. They leave behind the payload, instead they will take prime position and try and take down Leo.
So many critical health bars flashing now inside Team MVP. A lot of damage Finn's been pumping out throughout the entire series, to be fair. I think he's definitely one of my standout players so far for Team MVP. However, the car has stopped moving for the time. He kind of needs to touch it at some point. I mean, it's going to start rolling back otherwise. Careful, there we go. They're finally on it. GeekStar playing this one so passive, though. No combo online just yet. Yeonwon and Rookie having the same ult charge that's come.
Leo dives on in, does have that promo rage ready. Rookie's already down. Maybe this is the end of the fight already, Jules.
Yeah, maybe they didn't even use his ults. Yeah, So-Won's dead as well. I don't think you need to invest all of anything here. However, Waffle does get traded, but there you go. Next couple of kills are coming through. Sneaky Lucio trying to get the back caps. Not happening this time around. He's starring in a C9. It's all good.
But every meter is important if there's potential that you might get full held here. 1 minute and 40 seconds of Team MVP's time bank has drained away, but they are looking at a 6 ultimate push in the next fight. They'll be going up against 5 ultimates, so it's going to be a very intense fight, to put it mildly. 2 primal raging Winstons, of course, nothing to be snorted at, and Leo's already racking those nerves, trying to shut down the Omnic, give him a bit of a short circuit here and there with a Tesla coil. For now, just posturing for space around this corner.
Oh, grab on the blue box, though. A nicely charged right click by Who. He was ready and waiting for it. No way your Zen can really get up on there either. I mean, he has to... In those situations, when the grab's at a weird angle, you do have to jump in order to get, like, sucked into it. But the Zarya Graviton Surge did get changed a couple of patches ago, where the area of effect is lessened ever so slightly, which makes it slightly harder for Zenyatta's to do that. But it is possible. It's just Finn just could not get the angle in order to save the rest of the team.
MVP still haven't spent any of their ult books just yet. 6 in the tank, ready to be spent at a moment's notice. Valentine can use a rally for an engagement here. Leo's already doing a lot of damage. That's going to force it out.
Yeah, Primal Rage is going to get used by So-Won as well. Ooh, just trying to do that with Lucio. But yeah, Waffle does end up going down. You can see he was so low, had a Discord orb on him. They do manage to secure the kill. Cart is still moving by Team MVP, and a good start taking out the Lucio is always good. Graviton Surge is going to get used a little bit. A little bit too close to your own team there, unfortunately, Rookie. Doesn't manage to get all of anybody, but both Transcendences now going to get committed.
Youngmon's almost ready to give it his own go. He's got the Graviton Surge ready to go, and he's
That's
executed.
a big kill.
So what?
He's almost lapped Rookie in this situation as well. Remember, he started the fight with the Graviton Surge. Now Youngmon doing a whole bunch of damage. They're just going to chase every single member of Team MVP down. Don't want to let that cart go, though. But MVP know they can't really get a back cab in this situation. Leo gets another kill. Team MVP continue kind of tirelessly attack this payload. Youngwon just doing such a good job of just controlling the fights. Has another grab online. Rookie's 50% behind.
Some great resilience here from Team GEEKSTAR to be able to stand up against Team MVP and all of the ultimates they throw at them. Finn now has to swap over onto the Ana. Doesn't want to play with Zenyatta anymore. And he now will be able to try and lay down some healing from a longer way away.
Yeah, they are going to move underneath the hole here. They need to be able to engage at some point. Like, they're going to go for the big grab. So Destruction can use a little bit more defensively this time around. They're going to be able to get the remake as well. Leo's still doing a lot of work in the back line, now activating the Primal Rage in the very small room. Is going to beat everybody around. Can he do anything? 2 seconds now remain. They're going to be able to at least stall out for overtime here, but MVP looking like they're going to get full hold. Finn and Valentine, they're already dead. Hurry, OT's going to tick down also soon. Youngwon finds yet another kill, and now it's just the mopping up of MVP.
Ooh,
a big shadow from
shatter.
So What, though, might just end it all. It might just end it all. There we go. We're back in. We're back in the game. Feet died for half a second, but hopes and dreams of MVP are dying as well. Jasper and Frobry end up going down. Also, GEEKSTAR going to be able to push everybody off the point. Rookie's going to come back with a grab, but not going to be all of anything done. There we go. He throws it in. I don't even know where that went, to be honest with you, but GEEKSTAR managed to hold on first. What a rattled mental that MVP must be having right now. This is an awful situation. Almost get hold on first on Voskai, getting held on first on Gibraltar. Oh man. We're going to jump to a quick break, guys. We're going to reseat the feeds. We'll be right back. Hey guys, welcome back. Sorry about that, to resync the feed, but we're all good now.
When you said "so what shatter" ended it all, I didn't think you meant to include our connection to the feed, but apparently so.
So what shattered the feed, and the feed?
Yeah, just like shatter EMP'd us. Well, we'll have to see if GEEKSTAR will be able to complete the first point of Gibraltar. Team MVP is slightly broken, Jaws. They've been baned. They've had their back snap placed in the pit.
I was thinking about a fighting game finisher there. Oh. It's like, wow,
well,
it's getting brutal.
It was sort of a similar move.
Kind of.
I imagine Doomfist would use that move.
That would be such a cool highlight intro. I'm not sure it would be Peggy 12.
Backbreaker.
But it would be pretty damn cool. Well, GEEKSTAR now on the offense. They haven't got really far to go whatsoever. Well, Waffle's already dead though, so that's not a very good start.
Yeah, this will give room for Team MVP to move on forward. A great drop in there from Froppy. Does get a boot forward, which means more people will be within the effective range of So What, who's already halfway towards the Primal Rage. Leo is not going to be playing on the Winston, however. Instead, he wants to play on that Reinhardt. This just means that he can build up towards the Earthshadow. He knows that that's a major win condition here because people will have to come down and contest the card. The second that Winston shield is gone, that's when you get maximum value. You can just get a solo Shadow here and potentially win out a fight as a Reinhardt.
That's exactly what they need. They only need one fight now as it's aging around the corner. So What doing so much damage to the backline of GEEKSTAR. They need to be able to just recontest in a second, wait for everybody to get their armor and shields and health back, and then go once again. Just stabilizing is the most important thing you want to do right now. So What has got the Primal Rage, however.
So What can make a deep dive as well. Does have that additional 1000 HP should he require it. He's going low.
There
There it is.
They're going to bat the tanks in the front line. Leo does charge into the payload in order to stop his momentum. Gain control of himself once again. Transcenders has been invested from Finn and Who. Rally also as well, but Youngwon 30% towards that grab. Rookie a little bit further ahead. He's actually got his online just now. Can right-click away, Graviton Surge into the back line. Defensive self-destruct from GEEKSTAR is going to come through. A beat as well from Team MVP to keep them in the fight. This is going to be their last one after all. Nice kill onto Leo as he did manage to pin the Rig. However, she was saved by the sound barrier. GEEKSTAR now just having to back off. They haven't got their main tag available and they only need to win one fight, but they're still investing. Waffle using that sound barrier to continue this fight going.
Waffle there managed to get a sound barrier inside a Winston bubble. Who didn't get it at all?
This is not good. Rookie and Jasper end up going down. They may have traded 1 for 2 there as who ends up falling, but there's going to be such a lack of healing now coming out from GEEKSTAR. Leo is back into the fight and has the shatter. Uses it under the payload, doesn't catch anybody, but they're still moving this payload forward. So what? Probably going to fall down and no one can touch. GEEKSTAR in the map just before first. Full hold MVP as well on their defensive round and take the series 4-0.
GEEKSTAR there, they just played it so slow. It felt like they were losing that fight until they weren't. Gabe Olsey, he survived for so long, he just did so much damage over the course of his fight. Was great at marking Jasper, at marking So What. When you've got those big hitboxes and you've got a diva behind you, she's dealing 146 damage per second, doesn't have to reload, can just do so much damage to you and also force out a huge amount of resources which aren't available for healing for supports or healing up other tanks, and that can really mess with a team's internal comm structure when it seemed like MVP were already struggling a little bit with those calls.
And MVP just kind of heartbroken right now. Going 0-4 to GEEKSTAR, who look to be one of the weaker teams in Korean Contenders this season. They found 2 weeks in a row where they found wins, and moving into the last week is incredibly good for them because of their playoff hopes. Getting 4-0 to do, they were -9 on their map differential, and now they are moving so far up. They're now -5, in fact tying with Team MVP. And if there is ever a scenario where they are put head to head, they will actually win it out as well, because they do have the map win over MVP. They do have the series win over MVP. You can see O2 Blast, WGS, GC Busan Wave, they are still at that 2-3 scoreline, so they can still shift around. Runaway guaranteeing themselves the playoff spot already, but Gen G and Element